Okay, let's look at the problem 1.45 as an example. Right. So let's say that there's a set an. This is an open interval from negative 1 over n to 2 minus 1 over n. Right. Then what we want to do is we want to take the union of all these guys for all natural number n. And also for part B, we want to take the intersection of all those open intervals. Right? So let's do that. The easiest way to do is to draw a picture. So let's draw a picture. So draw a number line. Say you have a number line here. Right, so I'm going to just put tick marks. So this is 0 and maybe this is -1. And here's 1, and I might have to extend this guy a little bit longer. So I'm gonna extend it over here. And I'm gonna put 2 here. Alright, and the first thing I would do is I'm gonna list the first few just to know what they are. So for example, first one, A1. What would be A1? Alright, A1 would be, so just plugging 1 for n, so it's going to be from negative 1 over 1, so it's negative 1, and 2 minus 1 over 1, so 2 minus 1 is 1. So it's an open interval from negative 1 to positive 1. How about A2? Right, A2 is going to be, alright, so plug in 2, so it's going to be negative 1 over 2, comma, right, 2 minus 1 half, so 2 is 4 halves, so it's going to be 3 halves. Right, so let's just do one more, A3. So A3 is going to be, right, so negative 1 over 3, comma, right, 2 minus 1/3, so 2 is 6/3, so it's going to be 5/3. Alright, I'm gonna say then and so on. Alright, so let's draw these guys. So it's a negative 1 to 1, so I'm gonna just, it's open interval, so I'm gonna put the open interval for negative 1 to 1. So this is our A1, so maybe I should indicate that. So this is our A1. Right, A2 would be negative 1/2, so which is going to be probably around here. So I'm going to just indicate this is negative 1/2 there. To 3 halves, so it's 3 halves is 1.5, so it's going to be around there. So I'm going to put 3 halves there. Right, so this is going to be our A2. So I'm going to go here to there. So this is our A2. Alright, and A3 is negative 1/3. So negative 1/3. So it's probably around there. So indicate that it's a negative 1/3. And then goes to 5/3. 5/3 is a little bigger than 3 halves. So it's going to be probably around there. So say 5/3. Right, so I'm gonna just indicate, let's see, here is our A3. Oops, I messed it up. It's right here. Right, so this is our A3. Right, and so on. Right, and notice that here, left hand side, left bound is actually moving to the right. Every time you go to the higher n value, it moves to the right, and right endpoint is actually moving to the right as well. Right, so we want to know where these guys are going, so we can actually take the limit. So here's the left hand point, so limit, we can think about the limit. What would happen to this left hand point, which is negative 1 over n, as n gets larger and larger? but you can see that it's going to be -1 over big number, so it's approaching 0, right? And also right endpoint. So here, limit right endpoint is expression is 2 minus 1 over n as n approaches infinity, right? Then you can see that the 1 over n is going to approach 0. So it's basically, it's approaching 2 minus 0. So this is going to approach 2, right? So the endpoints, actually, so left endpoint's moving to the right toward 0 right here. And the right endpoint is moving to the right as well, but toward 2, right? So let's keep that in mind, right? So we're for part A, we want to find the union. So we want to put them all together, basically, right? So you can see that the farthest left you can go is, it's a very first one, is -1. And the furthest right you can go is going to be here. Right endpoint is moving toward 2. So it's going to go from -1 all the way to 2, but excluding 2. Okay, you notice that this is an open interval, and this expression, even though this is approaching 2, this expression never becomes 2. So we have to exclude 2. And since this is an open interval here, so it's we have to exclude -1 as well. So this is going to be -1 all the way to 2, but we have to exclude 2, right? So this is the union of all those n's, right? How about an intersection? So we have to collect all the common points of all these open intervals, right? So you can see that since the left endpoint is moving toward 0, like a 0 is always going to be included, right? Because this is this guy never becomes 0, so 0 is always included in this interval. And you can see that here right endpoint is moving to the right. So actually the smallest one is the very first one. So you can see that the common points are all between here, starting from here, and all the way to, so starting from here, starting from here, and all the way to 1, but excluding 1 because it's open interval, right? So the intersection is a collection of all common points. So you have starting from 0. 0 is always included here because this is a slightly negative value for all interval. And then all the way to 1. And this is an open bracket there, right? So this is the intersection of all these n's, right? That's it. I hope that this was clear.